Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of completing the WGU Computer Science degree. My name is Ryan, and in this episode, which I believe is episode 9, I'm going to be talking a little bit about how things have been over these past 7 weeks, how data structures and algorithms, how those courses went, and a little bit of something extra I was doing over these past several weeks, which will come as a surprise to people later on. So I guess for starting off this video, I will start going through data structures and algorithms, how those two courses were, and how I sort of approach them. So I will take it over to my monitor here. This is my current term right now. We've got about 5 weeks left in our current term because it ends, I believe, on August 1st. So I'm just trying to get as many courses as I can kind of finish with these remaining weeks, and I have about 62% of the program completed right now. If I look down here and click on Data Structure and Algorithms 1, this was the first course that I took in terms of like Python programming, and this was a fairly easy course in my opinion. When I sort of look at the course material, I went through all the material and noticed that it was less about actual programming and more about being able to understand like the fundamentals. So the course really kicks off on chapter 9. I think the first 8 chapters were more of covering like the basics of Python, and they were fairly simple. But after chapter 9, we can start seeing into like big O theory, how sort of algorithms and complexity grows over time, search and sort, which is basic stuff. I think links, stacks, and queues. This got tested a lot on the exam, and it was just like, how do you recognize a stack, or how does a queue work, which were fairly simple. Hash tables, which were a little bit complex to understand, but I kind of got the grasp of it. Trees kind of covered how like sort of traverse it, and heaps, which was only tested like 1 or 2 questions on the exam. So the exam overall, or at least the structure of this course, is very similar to Discrete Math 1 and 2, and kind of similar to the previous courses that I've took on Zybooks. It's really you just, if I were to open up one of these, it's really you just have a whole bunch of material, and it kind of explains it, and then you also have participation activities, which kind of explain how certain properties work for each section. And I think these are very helpful, again, in kind of like understanding how it works. But like when it actually starts getting to like the code, this isn't really as important to know as it is to just understand like how the actual concepts works, like how the actual traversals kind of go through. And when I sort of took the exam, I think I passed with a fairly good buffer, because it was less about programming and more about like knowing the concepts. So yeah. I think in all honesty, this first course took me maybe about a week to fully go through. I think the first couple days I was kind of just getting a good grasp of Python, which I did have some exposure to previously, but then when it started getting to like the data structures and algorithms, it was fairly simple to like go through everything. Now going into our second data structures and algorithms course, this course was a little bit more tougher than the first course, only because you're not really like passing this course by taking a multiple choice exam. You're passing it by actually writing like a full program. So as we can kind of see here, I did pass this course, and when I sort of had to like looked at this course, this course really kind of like expects you to fully understand how to actually build a full program, and the rubric has a whole bunch of requirements that you have to like kind of meet in order to pass this course. So when I kind of wrote the program for this course, I really had to spend like a solid 2 weeks non-stop programming and non-stop, referencing the rubric and referencing the data to pass this course. Now this course is a little bit interesting because the actual program that I wrote for it is not as easy as it appears. So I will kind of take it back from this. Data structures and algorithms 2 most certainly requires like the ability to be able to look at data and organize the data once it's imported into Python, and be able to like pull key pieces of information from certain data rows into like constructing an algorithm that can meet the requirements of the situation. So the scenario is kind of like delivering packages, kind of like FedEx or UPS. It's just like delivering packages to other locations, but each package is like sort of unique, and there's kind of like a deadline to deliver all the packages at the right time. So this course took about 2 weeks, and it was kind of difficult, but I think I enjoyed it, and I wrote a very, very fast algorithm that can like deliver everything on time, and it was very optimized, and I am very proud of that software. That was pretty much my Data Structures and Algorithms 2 course. Just programming a software that works really well and that meets all the requirements, and it's a pretty simple pass from there. So that was not necessarily the entirety of how I spent my last 7 weeks. These 2 courses took me about 3 weeks together. The first course took 1 week, and the second course took 2 weeks. But that gives me about 4 weeks remaining. And what I did during those 4 weeks is actually very, very important in the long run. So I applied to the Georgia Tech online computer science degree program, and it's a master's program. And I have submitted my application, I think, 2 days ago. So during these past 4 weeks, I haven't really been making videos or been focusing on WGU. I've been writing my essays, getting my transcripts, writing a resume, and also improving as many areas of my application as possible to make me competitive into the program. I have completed, looking at WGU, I've completed all of the core fundamental courses that the program is looking for, which includes operating systems, computer architecture, data structures and algorithms, discrete mathematics, basics in scripting and programming, and I think calculus and other areas. I have all of those pretty much locked and loaded, and I think the addition of other supplementary courses like networking, security, and introductory IT is also going to help my application. What's really great about WGU in my case is that for applying to the program, if I were to kind of take all these courses at a community college, I would be bottlenecked to take only 1 course a semester and be sort of limited by prerequisites. Because I'm taking it online and WGU doesn't really have that strict prerequisites, I can just go through all the courses right then and there in just a couple months, and then finally I can be a competitive applicant to the program. So for those of you who are interested in sort of applying to a master's program, I think WGU is absolutely by far the best program out there in terms of cost and time efficiency and getting those courses quickly. If I were to kind of reflect on the past couple months since I first started going through the courses in early January, I would say that I pretty much made the deadline right on time. I was going full throttle to go through all my courses to really get those credits in and to show the admissions community that I sort of completed all the major things that they're looking for. So yeah, that took about getting everything together took about 2 weeks, and then the other 2 weeks really was just writing my application essay. And my application essay is, I would hope that it's very good because I spent 2 weeks writing it, and it kind of covers everything that I'm looking to get out of the program. There was a lot of ways that I could have written my essay, but I'm kind of happy with how I got it. And so yeah, the whole application process and writing the essays and getting recommendations and writing my resume and all that stuff is that's been definitely on my mind, and that has been what I've been fully focusing on. But since I've submitted the application and it's kind of out of my hands now, I am going to be going back into WGU and finishing up the remaining, I think I have 12 or 13 courses left, the remaining courses that I really need to just graduate. I didn't really sort of take WGU just to get into the program. I also wanted a bachelor's in computer science, so I'm just going to knock this one out, and then hopefully if I do get accepted, I will, since I'm applying for the spring semester, if I do get accepted, then I will definitely have a deadline to complete WGU. by January 2020 because I can't sort of do WGU and like a master's program at the same time. That would be too much. So that is that. That is kind of how things have been going for these past several weeks. The first course that I am taking since I am back from a big hiatus is something easy, something that I can kind of get comfortable with, which is Data Management Foundations, I believe. It's an easy multiple choice course, vocab memorization. It is going to take maybe about like a solid week to like ramp up that sort of routine that I went through earlier, and hopefully I will be able to get that momentum going and start finishing up these remaining courses. And that is pretty much that. It has been quite a long journey, and I really do hope I do get accepted. Like, I have a lot of big ideas, a lot of big programming projects that I want to tackle, and it would be pretty much impossible for me to tackle them without like a master's going into it.